Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, I changed our Betty Bingo for a few reasons. The first reason is that I listened to her live this morning and she said some things that were not true, as usual. And she made some comments that I thought were very, very funny when it comes to ancestry DNA. So I said, I'm going to push bingo off because one, I never did the list. And I remembered at work today that I never created the new list. And second, on my way home today, a guy 2 doors down from me had assigned free kittens. And I am a foster, as some of you know. So I sent him a message and I said, listen, I will take the kittens and the mama and we will get them up to date on shots. We'll get them fixed and we'll get them, new homes. So I was dealing with orchestrating that. So I picked them up tomorrow. So for those of you who have been waiting for more kitten videos or kitten shenanigans, I will be getting them tomorrow after work. So they are super cute. I'm working on getting pictures. I can post them on my community post, but I'm excited. I haven't had kittens for a while. They are 9 weeks old, so they are tiny furs. And so I just need to clean out my kitten room because my kitten room has become storage. And kittens, as I said, are terrors, and I don't want them destroying everything in that room. So I have a lot of work to do before tomorrow. So welcome in, everyone. I will say, tell mama I sent pictures over Messenger. So Stephanie, Rebel, Angel, hello. Queen Bella, hey Burden. Oh, and that just reminded me, let me go to all messages because I may not see everyone. Bash, hello. Julie, Barbie, hello. Tia, I see some new names, so welcome. Angel, hello. Tiffany, and Mona Lisa, Good Gumpy, Crazy Nurse, welcome. So thank you all for being here. So before I start, I got a very interesting email that I want to share with y'all. And I tried to upload the photo because for some reason the article didn't attach the photo. Like you couldn't see the photo on the article, even though you could see it like when I got it through email. So I tried to upload the picture to my Google Drive, but I don't see that it actually uploaded. So, actually, nope, it didn't. Okay, so the picture will have to just wait until later. However, I believe, True Crime Dime, hello. I was hoping you'd be here because I'm going to talk about something really interesting. So many of us know Gina Diamond, and mostly we know her from MGL and her shenanigans with that. Also, she is a grifter to the max, and she uses family members who pass away in order to grift money, which I find completely disgusting and not cool. So I got another email. Yeah, actually I just ignore them, but I turned my notifications on for my headstones email so that I don't miss any, because you all have been sending me so much cool stuff, and like it's awesome. So Lettergate. So I'm gonna share this. Let me add it to my screen. So this was sent to me. I'm not sure when, but I checked my email just before I came live. And this is an article. Actually, let me move myself out of the way so y'all can see this better. zoom in a little bit. So it says, man who portrayed himself as, quote, cross-dresser, arrested for alleged role in sexual assault, state police say. Granted, this was about 10 years ago, actually 9 years ago, almost to the day, May 2nd, 2014. So I'm just going to read this to you because I found this very interesting. Nurse Bev, when you hear this, I actually really thought Gina was cool. And when she started hanging out with MGL, I was like, ooh, not good. And I didn't really follow her or anything related to her, yet this was really interesting to me. Yes. So here's the picture, but the picture won't show up for some reason. I don't understand why. Like, it says it's there, but then it doesn't show up. So it says Austin Christopher Wilkels, 23, is accused of taking part in an SA in which a woman said she was handcuffed to a bed against her will and forced to perform bad things on a woman. A Halifax Township man is accused of taking part in the SA of a woman who told state police she was handcuffed to a bed against her. Oh, that's the same thing we just read. Austin Christopher Wickles, 23, is being held in lieu of $50,000 bail in Dauphin County Prison. He was arraigned Tuesday night on charges that include aggravated indecent assault by forcible compulsion, a second-degree felony. Charging documents state that the woman, who is in her 20s, told state police that she and Wickles were in a room April 14th at the Red Rose Motel. At one point, the woman said Wickles rubbed her shoulders and said, I have a surprise for you later. And A, if you are here, please leave and come back in 5 minutes. Yes, there you are. Anna, please leave and come back. Put your volume down and come back. Around 7:30 p.m., a man and another woman arrived at the motel room and greeted Wickles as Gina, the woman told state police. State Police Trooper Matthew Yingst, the lead investigator, described Wickles as a, quote, cross-dresser who regularly portrays himself as Gina Gessner. Those charging documents also detail the following account of the incident. So again, Anna, if you have not left, this is your time to leave and turn your volume down, or I'm going to put you in timeout. Those charging documents also detail the following account of the incident. The woman who arrived asked to use the restroom. She then unloaded, quote, multiple explicit items from her bag. Okay, we're not going to read that. I will put this link in the description if you should want to, but I'm going to skip that part. Okay, so this is very, okay, I'm going to skip that too because my niece is probably not listening to me. So Wickles, who was wearing a padded bra and fluorescent colored thong during the alleged assault, also hit the woman with a wooden rod, she told state police. Yingst in charging documents noted the woman suffered substantial bruising on both her left and right wrists from the handcuffs. She also told state police she was kicked once in the face and hit numerous times in the head. Moreover, the woman estimated that she asked her attackers to stop approximately 50 to 60 times and told them she was scared. She also told state police that she believed the incident prearranged and said, quote, she was in hell and couldn't do anything to stop it, end quote. Charging documents filed Monday state the man and woman accused of participating in the assault with Wickles were still unknown. Yingst, the trooper investigating the case, was not immediately available for comment. Friday, Wickles initially ignored a request to come in for an interview with state police. He also hung up on the trooper when reached on his cell phone. Wickles has a preliminary court hearing scheduled for June 9th before Magisterial District Judge Gregory D. Johnson. So this again was in 2014, actually just over 9 years to the day. So I would be very curious to see what the outcome of this was. And again, I briefly skimmed, what was in that middle part. I'm not going to read it. I will put the link in the description if you should choose to want to read it. But let's just say that it was pretty graphic and disturbing. Interesting. Okay. So Gina was born a man who has transitioned to a woman. So she is transgender. I'm just going to go up. Okay, so that's where I left off. I just want to see the comments. Well, hopefully she left, because I'm guessing she had the volume up, and if my sister was there, my sister would force her to leave. Yes, I did not know this either until I got home today, and I was like, okay, I got to read this. Yes. Oh, you can come back. Yes. Well, and how can you hear me if your volume's off? How do you know if I said that you can come back or not? That makes no sense. Yeah, and the picture, for some reason, the picture is not working. I can also actually, what I'll do is I'll make a community post with the link, and that way I can attach the picture that was with the article on the community post, and that way it's them. Yes. Right. I wonder the same, Nurse Bev. And oh, yes. Anna can come back. Oh, sent it separately. Okay. I'll check it after. One second. Let me just type a message. Okay. Just so. Oh, she just stole my phone. See, I knew my sister would take the phone. Lulu, A can come back. I'm all done reading that article. All right, so let me stop sharing that. So we're gonna get into Betty Boo. And this is what I did. We're not gonna go through an entire live with Betty, but it's gonna kind of be transitional. So if you follow Bash the Tragedy Pimp, she was on Betty today, and Betty is not a good daughter, and she is being rather sticky these days. However, I just don't understand why she has to make these extravagant lies to make herself seem more important than she is. So if you haven't seen her lives, it starts with her live yesterday. We're just going to go through a little bit of it. She gets a phone call from her mom, and her mom kind of says some things. I did clip some of it, but I want us to hear it because her mom had knee surgery today, and Betty knew about it. Yet Betty had apparently more important things to do than to be with her mom during surgery, which not only included going live, but lying about a very important meeting she had with the county commissioners. So we're going to see what her important meeting actually was, which in itself was 3 minutes that she was given to talk about, I have no idea what, because when I listened to it, I sent Bash a message and I said, what is she talking about? Like, she's not making any sense. And then we're going to get into her live from this morning, which we will watch the whole thing because it was only 45 minutes long. And that's where she said some things where she's a big fat liar. And I'm going to call her out on it because it's not simple things she's lying about. It's things that she said in the past that were very awful and disgusting. And now she's pretending that she is this sweet angel that has so much compassion and empathy for people that I knew it was BS. So, yes. So I didn't watch her entire live yesterday because I was supposed to come live, but then the verdict came in for Letitia, and so I was watching that, and so I didn't get through all of it because I ended up going to sleep early yesterday. I ended up with a migraine. So, I will probably watch the rest of it today, but yes, she said she got an important call. No. She probably got a call from her front row Joes about wherever she's going tomorrow. Well, really, yeah, tomorrow morning. She says she has to leave early. So, oh, Anna, you have strep now too? Ugh, I hope I don't get it. I just saw y'all not too long ago. Although I wouldn't complain because then I would have to go to work, but I've only got 7 days left, so I need to go to work. Oh, she didn't have a cupcake, Kelsey. She had a donut. And so, actually, before we get into this, let me go to, I'm just going to go to YouTube quick. I think I put it on my community. I'm not going to show you the video, but I do have a video of her and her donut. But just to show you, I think oh no, nope, I don't. I thought I had a picture of her. Maybe it was Bash that I'm thinking of. Bash, did you have a picture of Betty and her donut on your community post? Is it a video? Let's see. Oh, I guess not. Okay, so, but I do have a video. If you want to see her with her donut, there is a video clipped that I put together. Oh, yours is a short. Okay, let me go back because I looked under videos and didn't see it. So if you haven't, please sub up to Batch the Tragedy Pimps because she is much more snarky than me, and she's really funny. So let me go back to your page. And is it the Real Professional Reporter one? I think that's the one because that looks like where she was sitting when she ate the donut. All right, so let me share screen. Yes, okay. All right, so let me just make sure that, yep, it should be sharing. Yep, I see it. Oh, geez Louise. I didn't know it was, a bullhorn right away. Okay, so I didn't realize it was like it started right away. So I'm going to play it, but then I'm going to play it a second time just so that we can hear the beginning as it was.
Betty bite right there, baby. You can't eat the whole thing. Not all in one sitting. That big old bite. That's a bullhorn Betty bite right there, baby. You can't eat the whole thing.
Yes, so there she is. Okay. So we are going to start with, oh no, how do I make this full screen? Where's all my menu? Oh, there it is. So her pink hair is actually, she's washing it way too much. You could barely see the pink today. So she's definitely washing it way more than she probably was supposed to. And I'm guessing it's probably on purpose. Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is, again, her live from yesterday morning. And so the beginning of the live, she does her normal, like, reading from the language of letting go. She went through a bunch of documents related to Koberger that weren't new, but of course she's saying breaking newly released stocks. So I'm going to start it here, and then her mom calls in, and that's where we want to listen, because then we're going to go into other things.
Says, I, Brian C. Koberger, by this release, author buys and requests that Ann C. Taylor, public defender, J. Logsden, deputy public defender, and the Office of the Public Defender, Kootenai County, or their representative to make entry into my apartment located at, and it's the Steptoe Apartments, for the purposes of collecting any personal remaining and hold harmless any claim arising from completing said task. I specifically authorize my personal property remaining at North Valley Ridge Apartment, Pullman, to be taken from the apartment by Ann Taylor, Jay Logsden, Michael McCarthy, or Jennifer Genquine. This authorization is made for the purposes of my legal representation by Miss Ann C. Taylor. So she's got whatever personal property he has at that home. So I'm just going to break this up right now. Let me pull this back just a little bit and see if anybody has any. We covered quite a bit in such a short amount of time, and we can go into it and look at it a little bit closer if you would like to. Let's get this up. All right, guys, the phones are open. If anybody has any questions to this point, you might want to call them in. Again, we're going over a lot of stuff with these documents, and people are probably saying, like, why are we going over this stuff now? It's because they have not been uploading this stuff on there. So we have to constantly.
Yes, they have. So some of the things that they released were not posted on the website. However, most of them we have seen before. They are on the Idaho website, court website. So she, again, is trying to be more important than she actually is.
Be looking in something. If it was filed on 1/5, it's not going to be at the bottom of the list. So if you're not paying attention to the list, whenever they're adding new stuff to that list, you will miss it. You will miss it. This is a combination of several different documents put on the docket, but there's also documents in here that I have not seen before either. So a lot of the stuff I have seen, but it's all the stuff that I've never seen before that I'm finally getting in, like, you know, Ann Taylor and Brian Koberger's notification of rights, seeing what he wrote on there. I mean, initially, he's not, one major question was not answered on that form. And I think he did that intentionally as a way to potentially use that in court. They're going to try to say that he was, it seems to me that he's going to be pushing that he was coerced or badgered by law enforcement at some point. So, you know, and we do have a Brady Giglio disclosure on the file. Could that be what it's related to? Could it be related to Bethany Funk? We really don't know. In all fairness, we don't know what that Brady Giglio disclosure is. They've got us blocked out of that too. And that's upsetting to me, because you're talking about one of our government employees and them intentionally, you know, not being transparent with what he's done. And it's a little concerning for me. I have concern when anybody starts hiding what government employees are being reprimanded for. And I'd like to know why there is a Brady disclosure in this file. And I don't know if we ever will. And I don't see how that is state secret. I mean, if somebody did something wrong, they did something wrong. In a situation like this where, yes, it would be.
Okay, and here's Miss Legal Expert knowing exactly whether or not it is unusual or not to have your attorney collect your personal effects.
To his best interest to have his attorney, well, in some cases, it would be in his best interest to have his attorney do it. But as opposed to like a friend or something like that, an attorney has a ethical obligation as well as professional obligation to you, and so they have to act as a fiduciary for you. So she's not allowed to harm him. She would be the best person that would be able to acquire that stuff lawfully, in my opinion. She's not, she's not going to lose her license over a $25 candy bar. You know what I'm saying? Not that anybody else would. Not that anybody else would. I was using that as an example, but still, it's. Hey, old.
It's what, Betty? You didn't finish your sentence. It's what?
Rusty Kettle Ranch. That is a mouthful. I have to be honest with you. In my opinion, I think they will postpone the June 26th hearing because they are pushing the issue of exculpatory evidence not being received. I agree with that. But you know what? In all fairness, I also stated that I was not making my arrangements until May because I still think that they are going to go. I mean, think about it. Why would they do a preliminary hearing if they can go a grand jury route that doesn't allow, the back and forth with the prosecution? They have to know that they have a fairly solid case. A grand jury pretty much indicts anybody. So it's not, I don't know why they would be going this route with preliminary hearing as opposed to a grand jury. I don't know. Courtney Kitten, thank you. Yeah, it's lightening up a little bit. I was thinking it was going to be more permanent. I didn't realize it was not permanent. And also it's like coming out of the hair quite quickly, a lot quicker, but it's going to still have the pink like undertone to it because it's blonde hair. I don't know if that undertone will ever leave, but who knows? It might. But I'm going to have to, next time if I choose to do a pink, it's going to have to be like this color, this light pale, where it's just like almost like a glaze versus actual cotton. Oh, Lord. I'm exhausted today. I really am. I woke up and anyways. The case makes me mad. It makes me mad, too. It makes me mad, too. For those that are hearing impaired, the phone number is 724, hearing impaired, visually impaired, not hearing impaired. 724-249-6140. I don't understand how in the world he has the same lawyer. She should have been out of the.
Oh, right. So this part is this Lisa is saying how the whole conflict of interest, Ann Taylor shouldn't be Koberger's lawyer because she was at one point representing Xana's mom, and Betty was all for this comment. In the past, she was all about it's a conflict of interest. She should step down, blah, blah, blah. And now wait until we hear what she says here.
This. Well, here's the issue. I kind of understand why she's in it. First of all, I don't blame her being in this case. Quite frankly, he needs her. We need her to be on his case. And I've explained this before. First of all, he deserves representation. He deserves the representation afforded to him by our law, by our Constitution. And so he has the right to be defended and have a proper defense. And we do want a pit bull. We talk about this on my channel often. We do want a pit bull in this matter because in the event he is convicted, we don't want additional appeals. We just heard, he's got 42 days to file an appeal on a matter. And is in the house. Hold on.
So again, how convenient that the phone rings as soon as she's about to explain things, but then isn't sure what to say.
Mom. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. Listen, I love you.
I love you too.
So this is where mom calls in, and again, so now Betty has answered the phone, but now is not even interested in what mom has to say.
Listen up. I love you. Happy Monday, everybody. Brian Koberger, I got a feeling this is going to be one heck of a long trial. I don't know what they're going to use for defense, just like Stouch. I don't think he's going to have anyone for a defense unless it's psychiatrists. I can't imagine one single person standing up for this guy other than his parents, and that would be biased. But I
What do you
think
think about
the
Betty.
Brady Act.
yeah, what do you think about that? And then I've got another question for you as well. Oh, I'm trying to keep all my papers together because there's lots of papers. I've told
I
it.
know. You need to keep those all in notebooks by date,
Yeah, I
and
got a
then
storage binder that I need to.
and then write a book. But that's what I should have done. But anyhow,
Yeah, I'll sign you with the book writing. You're better grammar and type better than I do, and I'll just.
I can't type anymore. I write in my hand so bad.
No.
But we're getting the knee fixed.
Yeah, I know. The day I'm flying out.
Okay, so again, her mom had surgery today. And again, this is her live from yesterday. Mom says, I'm having my knee fixed tomorrow, which is actually today. And Betty says, oh, yeah, the day I'm flying out. Wrong. She flies out tomorrow, very early in the morning. So mom has knee surgery, which I would think is a pretty intense surgery. And where is Betty? Not only on her live this morning, but then she says she has an important meeting that starts at like 9 a.m. And 5 hours later, she has 3 minutes to talk to her board of commissioners. So Bash actually did, it was funny, she did a world's worst daughter award for Betty, because you'd think you'd be with your mom at that time.
Are you going in tomorrow or are you going in on the 10th?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. So I might be able to, well, you're going to have Jack call me when you come out of your sedation because
Okay, well, I'll be
I'm
down
flying out.
at
I got to be at the airport at like 3 a.m.
Well, they said I'll be there about 6 hours. They don't keep you anymore. They have a.
I know. We'll do it with Miss Laura.
But
I'll tell you some advice though. She says start working that knee right away.
oh, I will, because I know what happened last time. And but anyway, back to the Brady Act. I think the cop that was removed, it's from another case. I think he performed something wrong concerning another case, not this one. They're saying, I listened to Jonathan yes.
Okay. And I was looking something up because the mom keeps saying the Brady Act. And in my head, I kept saying Reagan, right? Because I was thinking, wasn't the Brady Act during Reagan's term? And so I looked it up, and the Brady Act was actually a handgun act that imposes a waiting period of 5 days before a licensed importer, manufacturer, or dealer may sell, deliver, or transfer a handgun to an unlicensed individual. So I had to look that up because before I talked, I had to make sure I was right in my thinking, and I was. So her mom saying Brady Act, I believe it's the Brady Giglio disclosure, which is much different. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. But I believe her mom is also not saying the right terms.
Yesterday, and he said he thinks it has to do with the sheath suddenly appearing, and I'm going, no. I think that's derogatory evidence to throw us off, because there was reports saying they were looking for the knife and sheath in the early reports, and then suddenly they found it on the bed. I don't know. That might be the case.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought up the sheath, because there's another. There was another thing that got brought up as well, and it was that they asked. And this, I almost forgot about this. I'm glad you brought this up, Mom, because in the search warrant for the Steptoe Apartments, they put in here the knife sheath for the knife. And my thing is now it's starting to make a little sense to me, because we got the redacted search warrants back from Amazon and Google. And I'm wondering if he purchased the knife and then purchased the sheath separately. So the knife would have came with maybe a generic type of, or just a K-bar knife sheath, and he purchased the U.S. Marine Corps separately.
Well, they're issued together as one unit.
Not necessarily all the time. You
well,
have to order that special insignia.
So this is where I need the chat's help because I don't know anything about knives. I don't know anything about knife sheaths. I would assume that the knife comes with the knife sheath. However, he is saying here that you can buy the sheath with the Marine Corps insignia on it separately to put it in. I don't know, so that's why I'm asking. Because that's what Betty's trying to allude to, that the sheath was bought separately than the knife. I'm assuming you can put a different knife in that sheath, but wouldn't the knife come with the sheath? That's my question.
Marine Corps insignia, because they don't all come with the Marine Corps insignia.
But if it was military issued, your stepdad said there's no way. He said it's anybody that leaves the Marine Corps has to turn it in.
Oh, I know that. I know that, but they sell the sheath.
And if somebody comes out of the Marine Corps with one, they violated.
Mom, Mom, time out. They make these sheaths with the Marine Corps insignia. This did not come from the Marine Corps. Brian Koberger was never in the Marine Corps. They're looking at Amazon and other purchasers for this. I was saying, do you think that the actual K-bar knife came with a separate sleeve and he specifically ordered the U.S. Marine Corps sleeve to leave at the property? Because I always said from the beginning, I thought that was a plant.
Yeah, true.
And I'm wondering, I don't remember her saying this yesterday, but I'm wondering what she really said about the sheath, because I don't remember her saying that she thought the sheath was planted there. She's saying that now, but I don't think she said that initially. So I have to figure that out.
Because if
thank you, Crazy Daisy. Yes, that's what I thought. Right. Interchangeable, I get, but if you were to order can you order the sheath separately without a knife? I guess that's what my question is. Can you buy just the sheath with the insignia on it, or would it come with a knife?
It had to be brand new. Mm-hmm. To my estimate, I thought it was brand new.
That's what I thought.
Because from day one, I thought the knife and the sheath were brand new because First of all, the sheath only had his DNA under the snap.
Yeah.
And he wiped it. Now, there's stitching, there's seams, and unless he put it under a UV lamp, I don't see how he could have removed, if he had used it more than once, how he could have removed all the DNA other than that under the snap.
Yeah,
so I thought from the very...
I think he used it more than once. I think he ordered It seems the way that the warrants are written in the time frames used, it seems like they believe he purchased this like in and around, since he's been in Washington State University, but it could have been before.
Yeah. Well, there's some really strange occurrences back in Pennsylvania that no one can answer.
Yeah.
And it'll be like unsolved. That one gal there in Washington near Pullman is still unsolved. It's just, I think he's guilty of more than just this, and I'll go to my grave thinking that, but if he gets prosecuted on just these 4, I'll be happy. But I got a feeling there's going to be a technicality, and he's going to file for an appeal.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I have not yet seen a murder case that went to trial where the person was convicted that an appeal wasn't derived out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just standard operating procedure. You immediately apply for appeal.
Well, Letitia Stout has a million. First of all, the lack of representation during trial. The only witness, the only bona fide MD.
And mind you, this phone call was before the verdict had been determined in Letitia's case. So I want to keep that in mind with this conversation.
The psychiatrist was a joke, a circus act.
Mm-hmm.
What else? She's got so many that she can file, just on the lack of representation. The
Yeah.
fact that our attorneys
Well, you know what? I
just
keep
sat there
I
rocking
was
in their chairs.
yeah, I was thinking about it too, and I'm wondering, you know how they have, and I talk about the rule the whole time, but for whatever reason, I didn't really apply it in this case. But you know, like when like an attorney is not allowed to perjure themselves, so if they're apprised of information from the defendant, and it's going to be hard for it. Well, no, that doesn't make sense either because you can still refute without saying that she said something in lying.
Oh, so you acted like you knew what you were talking about, and then as you were talking aloud, you say, "Oh, that doesn't make sense." Yeah, Betty, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Right.
Ryan.
But it's like the attorney for the Jackson case in Wisconsin, the kid that killed his whole family. The attorney never spoke up. Never, when it came to when the state rested, the attorney for the defense stood up and said, "We rest, Your Honor." They didn't even. They had nothing, and he got, I think, 4 life sentences, 25 to life on all 4 of them. But the thing is, I think he's filed an appeal. So I don't know, baby. The lawyers know more than we do, and the lawyers will always know more than we do. And just like any other murder case, it's never going to come out the truth.
Right.
It's like they've got the strings on the sack, and they open those strings just a little bit to have enough to, it's like.
Okay, so now this comment, this real Me Too, is always in chat. And she or he, I'm assuming it's a woman. Defense doesn't have to put on any case. Again. What? This is why Betty has the people in her chat that she does, because they're as ignorant as she is.
Purse strings.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to let everything out.
Yeah.
And
and I don't
unless they've got an eyewitness
everything out, but I do expect them to follow the law. And I've been complaining about Megan Marshall not following the law. You know, Judge Megan Marshall has to follow the law too, and I've been up in arms about her orders.
Oh my God. Well, and she's still on her high horse that Judge Marshall is violating the law and doesn't know how to follow the law.
Let's do this. Okay, it's like the Murdaugh trial. There was a judge, all the proceedings to the trial, back in the information gathering years. But then the governor had the attorney general for the state of South Carolina appoint a special judge.
Oh, hold on. Wait, let me answer that. Yes, guys, I did not uncheck the box for ads today. I was thinking about it. And we go literally hours upon hours on days like today. So there are going to be intermittent.
So in other words, she needs the revenue that the ads create because she needs money to go on her personal trips.
Ads that YouTube puts in all by themselves. I did not uncheck the box. If it's a hindrance to you, we have to keep the lights on here. So unfortunately, you can't watch TV without commercials. And you can't watch Bullhorn Betty channel for 12 hours without a commercial. So I apologize about that. Please be patient. All right, Mom.
But do you think that just like the rumor of the firing squad, that's not illegal in Idaho?
No, I know. They actually voted to keep it in.
And do you think that the Attorney General for the state of Idaho will appoint a different judge for the trial?
Once it changes venues, which this is a very, I mean, even out or even years down the road when they decide to take this to trial, this case is so big. I can't imagine any them not sequestering the jury, not changing venues. Even if they kept it in Latah County, there's going to have to be some. It's just too wide known. It's worldwide.
Yes. Because
it's probably wide known in that general area. But if not for YouTube, I would have no idea about the Idaho 4 case. None whatsoever. I remember it being like I saw the article on like CNN or something about it, and then I just kind of moved on. my parents said they saw something on Inside Edition, like a 30-second clip. So it's not as big of a case that Betty is making it out to be. And I don't believe that they're going to have to change venues for his trial. I believe they can find an impartial jury just like they did for Letitia. There are those who may not have even heard about the case, or maybe they heard about it and they went on with their lives. For those of us who live in, bigger cities, it's not anything new that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So I don't think she's correct in that assumption.
That area is so small. Where are all the news people going to stay?
Yeah, well, there's places. Been out there twice. I mean, I can actually, to be honest with you, it's fairly inexpensive as long as you're not right there in Moscow. You can go on outskirts areas, and it's really affordable.
Okay.
But even if they did keep the case at their courthouse, they would probably be shuttling in jury from outside areas like they did in Alec Murdaugh's case.
Yes, absolutely. But I still think even at that, the Good Old Boys Club was still hard at work.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's Murdaugh. I don't
think we'll have that at this trial. We won't have the Good Old Boys Club, but we will have people who have followed this so closely that they're naturally biased.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard.
These rain boots work. These rain boots fit perfect. Sorry, go ahead.
So I missed this part too. So her mom is talking and Betty's trying on the rain boots that one of her subs bought for her instead of listening or paying attention.
But I didn't want to take up the whole morning. And
well, we got time to kill this morning because I don't even know what time. Like, we still have an hour and a half before court's even opened in Colorado, and I've still got a lot of stuff here to go.
It's only 7:37 there, and I think they're starting at 8:30, 9.
Well, we weren't apprised of anything. They told us to wait. We were waiting, and then all of a sudden the cameras go down, and we get notification from Crime and Law or Law and Crime.
Yeah.
That they closed and the jury went home for the night. We weren't even.
Yeah, that's very odd because usually, like in the Murdaugh trial, the judge brings the jury in and instructs them at the end of every day. Do not do this. Do not do that. You're still under, unless they sequestered them. Did they sequester them? We don't know.
Right.
I know in one of the cases, I forget which one it was, high profile. I think it was the doctor in Chicago that killed all those people that he intubated and he overdosed them and they all died.
Yeah.
They sequestered the jury.
They could sequester the jury, and like even with this one, I was surprised. See, when the judge went back at 5, he probably asked them. I guarantee they probably had just got their jury, their 4-person or something like that. There's a reason why the judge
and organized the evidence. Can you imagine the amount of evidence they have to organize?
Yeah, which was what I was pretty surprised that the judge actually asked them, not to take an initial vote. See, I'm one of those people. I was always taught you really want to take the initial vote because there's no point in rehashing the stuff you guys were all in agreement with, and just focus on the stuff that you're not in agreement with and go over just that evidence related to the factors that aren't agreed by all jurors. And that's the way, that's the way I was taught that it should go. But again, each state is different. This is Florida. We have 50 states and attached to each other. Well, 49 states that are attached to each other. Actually, I think it's probably 48. I don't even think Alaska or I know Hawaii's not attached to us, but either way, our states are all different. So they have different rules. They all pretty much act the same, but they just have different nuances from different states, different counties, different cities, etc.
Well, I do know. I remember the judge telling the people what they could bring and what they couldn't bring in their suitcases. And this judge didn't do any of that. So, I mean, they couldn't, because once they're sequestered, the bailiff for the jury, the bailiffs for the jury confiscate their phones. They're only allowed to have their phones like at one for a half hour every night to call family. and then they're sequestered and taken away again.
Yeah. Well, this jury wasn't sequestered at all.
Wow.
Yeah. Even with them being in deliberation, they're not sequestered. They were able to go home.
That's usually what happens in most trials, Betty. They don't sequester a lot of juries. And I'm pretty sure that because it was a weekend, they let them have their weekend.
So, yeah, I'm watching Prince William on the TV.
Ah, gotcha.
Our Prince William.
Yeah, I knew who you were talking about, Mom.
When I pause my TV, it automatically goes to all the family photos. Oh Lord.
All right.
What else did I want to tell you? You're welcome to come over today.
I can't. I still have to pack, and then I've already got calls from everybody under the sun. Apparently, something going on with the county. They want me to be there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so here's where she also drops that there's a whole bunch of calls coming in that she needs to be at the county commissioner meeting. Yeah, I call BS. I am 99.99% sure it was her Front Row Joe group calling her about her upcoming trip. And again, I am fairly certain she is going to Des Moines, Iowa for Mr. Trump's rally this weekend.
Actually, do you remember where Granny and Grandpa Young lived?
In Ona?
Yeah. And right next to him was Taylor Road.
Mm-hmm.
All that property was owned by Aunt Ruth's family.
Yeah.
I mean, literally thousands. They sold it.
I know.
And they're building.
I know.
I'm totally against it.
I know.
I'm a naturalist. God bless America. What the heck can we have?
Wow, it's because we have 30,000. We're minus 30,000 homes in Manatee County. We got to build them somewhere.
Hey, I got news. How about some houseboats?
What?
Houseboats.
Yeah, no, I don't want to look out in the water and see nothing but houses out there.
We got plenty of river. Put them on.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. So apparently Betty doesn't know what a houseboat is. It's not actually houses on the water. It's actually a houseboat that is on the water. People have houseboats where they live. I don't know if I could because, well, I don't know. It would probably be kind of like being on a waterbed. But I believe she really thinks that you would have houses on the water because she just said, I don't know, I wouldn't want to look out my window and see a bunch of houses on the water. What? That is not a houseboat, Betty. Ay.
Houseboat on the river. Good Lord of mercy. All those canisters that Glenn is using can float.
Yeah.
Tell him I said that.
All right, Ma. I love you.
Oh, Lord. I love you.
All right.
I got to make you laugh. I can't make you laugh.
Well, because today I'm in a kind of a bum mood.
Yeah, because she's a biatch. That's why, Mama. She is a bish.
Well, just think, we're going to get her done today because I can't watch tomorrow. So.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's got to be finished today.
Robin's like, be nice to your mom. I'm being nice to my mom. What do you mean I'm being nice to my mom?
Oh, good. I'm glad someone in her chat said to be nice to her mother because she's being a complete jerk.
But she's been on here 20 minutes.
All right.
This Robin,
I love you.
This Robin's
I love
yelling at me, Mom. She's yelling at me.
Oh, your baby sister, while she was on air last night, was talking about her mama.
Aw.
And, you know, it's just, I just go, oh, she broke the rules. Oh.
Well, I break the rules every chance
I
don't break the law.
You don't break the law, Betty? Oh, boy.
They were talking about upcoming Mother's Day activities. And she goes, I'm not even going to get to see my mama.
Which reminds me, oh, shit. Excuse my language. I just realized, I think I'm coming back on Mother's Day.
That's fine. It's not the day. It's the occasion. Okay?
All right, Ma. All right.
I love you.
I gotta do something nice for you. So
we share Mother's Day.
Oh, and that's the other thing. It's Mother's Day this weekend. And where's Betty going to be? Not home. And she clearly wasn't planning on doing anything nice for her mom until mom said something.
In September.
Yeah.
That's my Mother's Day.
Ha ha ha. I've been a pain. I've been a pain in areas I shouldn't have been a pain in since the day I was born.
You've been a pain in my asterisk for 40 plus years. But I love you to the moon and back.
I love you too, Mom.
That's part of being a mother. I love you.
Love you too.
I love everyone.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Miss Robin yelling at me. I'm being nice to my mama. Being nice to my mama. She's a history bug. What can I say? I like history. I like world history. Actually, I don't even like world history. I could care less about world history. I should like world history a lot more than I do, but I don't. So it's world history, yeah, but U.S. history I like. Okay, I can deal with U.S. history. Family history, not so much. Why? Because I've heard you guys are listening to the stories for the first time in many of your cases, right? These are stories I've heard over and over and over again. And Mama Bullhorn can say that. She can say that. That's true. It's a true statement, Mom. Tell them it's a true statement. You've been shoveling family history down my throat since I was born. Tell them. Tell the truth.
Why are you shouting? And wouldn't you want to know your family history? Like, that's something that my sister and I have been working on for years. And wouldn't you want to know where you came from? I know I do. I think it's interesting. And we're going to get into more about what she thinks about family history soon. We're going to go with this a couple more minutes, and then we're going to go to her live this morning.
By the way, to the best mother in the whole wide world, Mama Bullhorn. She's about to have her leg cut off tomorrow. No, I'm just joking, guys. Don't freak out. She's just having knee surgery. Just knee surgery. She's got a speedy.
Just knee surgery? Listen, knee surgery is rough. My mom had knee surgery, and it's not a walk in the park. But Betty would rather not be in town as opposed to helping her mama out.
Recovery, hopefully in her horizons, and it's going to suck because I'm going to be on a trip and out of state. So, you know, it is what it is. So, anyways, it is what it is. But Bullhorn, I love you, and it's Mommy's week. Like when I have a birthday, it's never a day anymore. See, when I was younger, we had birthdays. Okay, when you get older, when you get in your 20s, then you have birth months, right? Then you get past your 20s, then you start having birth weeks, and now when you get into your 40s, you have birth week plural.
No, I'm in my 40s. I have a birth month. I celebrate the whole month, Betty. And apparently today at school, the kids kept saying happy birthday to each other. And I was like, oh, it's your birthday? And they're like, no. And I was like, well, why are you saying happy birthday? And they're like, well, why not? I was like, well, I guess you have a point. So they were just telling people happy birthday when it wasn't their birthday. So we are going to now go to our friends live this morning. And we're going to listen to a little bit of it until she mentions her very important meeting. And then we'll see how important her meeting actually was. Because it wasn't as important as she claims, and I have no clue what the heck she was talking about. Not one bit. So, hold on a second. Let me share. Okay, so again, this is this morning's live, and I will say her hair looks much better than it did yesterday. And the one thing the hairdresser did that was a bonus was to cut all of those dead ends off. So I will say her hair did look nice today. It still looks strange with the pink, but it did look much better than it has. And I actually think this is a good look for her. It's not long and straggly. It's, she actually did her hair today. I think it looks nice. Why she still has the sunglasses on her head, I don't know because she's inside. But it is what it is. Apparently, she wears her sunglasses at all times. All right, so here we go. Yeah, and actually when I saw her this morning, I thought she looked like Betty White. Not young Betty White, much older, like 80s Betty White. So, and I was trying to find a picture of Betty. It's funny, Betty White, Betty, Bullhorn Betty. I was trying to find a side by side, but then I was like, you know what? That's not fair to Betty White. So I didn't do it. But she does remind me of Betty White when she was in her 80s.
My beautiful crew of YouTube, good morning to each and every one of you this wonderful morning. I actually wasn't anticipating ongoing.
Oh, sorry about that. Whoops. Hold on a second. I hit the wrong button.
My beautiful crew of YouTube, good morning to each and every one of you this wonderful morning. I actually wasn't anticipating on going live today, but I decided because I've got to go to a meeting, I've got to get packed. Today is going to be one of those crazy days because I've got to get this house cleaned up. I do not want to walk into this house in a week and it be trashed and I be coming off the plane, jet lagged, exhausted, tired, sleep deprived, and then have to clean the house. So I'm going to try to do all of that today. So I didn't think I was going to have time later this afternoon to come live after my morning meeting. So I decided to come and say good morning to everybody. As you see, I've got a county meeting to go to. So I'm up quite early this morning. Good morning.
You don't have to go to the meeting. You're choosing to go to the meeting. And why does this video look crooked? I have no idea. I think I did something wrong on the slide. Oh, well.
Southern Granny Wolf, Robert's Girl, it's nice to see you, followed by Teresa, Cranky Pants, Kathy S, Kathy B, Vape King. I haven't, well, maybe you've been here. I haven't seen you. So good morning, Vape King. At least I haven't had an opportunity to tell you good morning. ZA, Jazz King, it's nice to see you. Elf Fig, my friend, I see you, is in the house, followed by my other friend, Okie Crime News. It's nice to see you all here this morning. Miss Stacy, who else do we? Cynthia, it's nice to see you here this morning, love. And I started out, I didn't give you guys any chance to think about whether we were.
Oh, Eric, I 100% believe she just says that because when you see her go up to the podium, they didn't invite her there. She invited herself there. And they give each speaker 3 minutes unless you've had, like there were Easter seals was there. And they gave a presentation. So obviously they would have more than minutes. But when you go up to the podium, you get 3 minutes. And she said her meeting started at 9 or 10, something like that. Like she had to be there because she was invited to be there. No, she was not invited. She went on her own accord to talk about something I still don't understand what she was talking about.
We're going live today. I was like, boom, 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 we're live. Bonnie's Journey, it's nice to see you. Patricia Miller, good morning. Christina, Bookworm is in the house. Connie Branch, Connie, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Mary, it's good to see you all here this morning. We already have 95 people in the chat this morning, and we're not really, I am Team Summer, good morning. And I'm not really going to be discussing a case today. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about, because quite frankly, we had a great day yesterday, and it was a great, it was sad. I got to say that me personally, I was sitting here crying. I didn't cry.
No, you weren't. You were not crying. You were off screen. Everyone else that I watched who had emotion was on screen. You were not on screen. You said you were crying, but I don't believe you.
For anybody else, what got me well, I was having a bad day yesterday. Probably could have used, the purge anyways. I was having just a horrible day yesterday. And today is much better. I was able to get some sleep and obviously bright and shiny this morning, bubbly, and just happy to be here. But
Oh, she's bubbly now, but wait till you see her at her meeting. She is not bubbly. She is Bishy.
Yesterday was really somber for me. It was really sad. We were learning, despite it being good news, despite, hey, Dumplin', it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. But it was Landon. It was Gannon's mom.
Okay, so now this is where I started to get really pissed off, because in the past, she has only had venom spewing from her mouth about this woman. And today, for some reason, maybe she got some backlash, I don't know, she has a heart for Landon. And again, I call BS, because you said on many occasions very negative, nasty things about this mother who lost her child. And now you have sort of empathy? No, not even close, Betty.
Was hearing her story. It was hearing, she didn't go on the stand. We haven't heard from Landon. I mean, we may have heard some interviews here, interviews there, but we never really, we knew she was struggling. I didn't know she had another kid. I didn't know she's had pregnancy issues just about with every single one of her children. And when she was having her youngest daughter, she had a lot of medical complications, which she was relying a lot on Al and Letitia to help with the other kids because of this pregnancy and the complications she was having. And it was my understanding, months of complications after she had her youngest daughter. And so, she was up there pleading for her name. She was blasted as a mom that didn't care for her kid and a drug addict. And here she is.
Oh, who blasted her, Betty? Your ass did. That's who bashed her. You did. And I don't want to hear you come out and say, no, I didn't. Because as you say, we have the proof in the pudding. You bashed her, and you bashed her more than once. So to say that others were doing it, no, you were doing it.
Is struggling, and this woman that has all these horrible things to say about her was the one that killed and took one of her most precious gifts in the world away, her son, her only son. And it was just heartbreaking to hear her.
She is such an effing liar. Like, this is where I was yelling at her again in my car, and I was like, okay, I'm going to change bingo because I need to talk about this, because this is acceptable. And she did bash her. And now she's saying, oh, I feel so bad. Oh, my heart breaks. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. You are probably inside, you are secretly reveling in the fact that these people are in pain.
Talk about the trust that she had for Letitia and how Letitia violated it, and the trust that and the jealousy that Letitia had for her. It was just really heartbreaking. And then to hear Gannon's father go up there and his new wife, and of course we didn't know that the new wife also had a son that was that lost his life. So she kind of at least understand or identified, or at least empathetic to what Al's going through, and obviously having lived that herself could probably help with support. Hey, Pat. Oh, Ricky Beaver's in the house. Just asking about you, Ricky. It's nice to see you, love. Nice to see you. Misty Pebbles, good morning. So we were, when we were sitting there and listening to this, it was very heartbreaking for me. And just seeing Gannon's father break down in front of the judge, it's hard. For me, there's something about when a man cries that just really gets you to your heart. I think it's because men are perceived to be tough guys. Men are perceived to be the rock.
Maybe you perceive them to be that way. Like, granted, historically, men have been more stoic. However, cases like this, I don't think it's fair to make these judgments, because I cannot imagine what they're going through, because I don't have children. I have students, and last year we did lose one of them. And actually today we found out that one of our 7th graders lost her 17-year-old brother last night unexpectedly. And I'm not going to share the details of how he passed, but I had no words when my students told me what had happened. So again, to make these judgments is irresponsible, in my opinion.
Rock of the family, and when the rock of the family is breaking down, that should tell you how the family is feeling. And it's sad, but there's something about a man crying that just really puts a dagger in one person's heart. Good morning, Audrey. Good morning. Here we go. Good morning. So anyways, I can't stay too long this morning because I've got meetings and I've got a lot of packing to do, but I did want to say hi. And I actually, give me just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail and I'll get the phones open because we really don't have a lot to go over.
And I can't tell you how much I hate that saying. She always says, just give me 2 shakes of a lamb tail. I don't know why, but I cannot stand that statement. It just irks me for some reason.
For today, I'm not going over. Let me be honest, I'm not going over anything, right? It was just to say hi. I didn't want to work on anything, and not only that, but I have to, when I get back, it's another thing I have to do, is where I'm going, I've got to get the rest of my itinerary and all my notes, because even though it's a personal trip, many of you know, I never take just personal trips if I'm going.
Oh, so here comes her disclaimer as to why she has to ask for money. So for those of you who are just joining and aren't caught up with Betty's antics, she has been asking for money to travel to Idaho in order to attend court proceedings where the public is not allowed. So she's asking for money so that she can stand outside the courthouse and report on the issues. However, that is not until June. Well, end of May, there's a hearing, and then there's June is when the preliminary starts. Now, she's disclaiming because the money that rolled in, and again, we don't know how much rolled in because she may have gotten stuff through Cash App and PayPal, Venmo. She's now using that money to apparently go on this personal trip where now she's going to disclaim, well, it's not just personal. I do work when I'm on my personal trips as well. Yeah. Negative, Betty. That is not true. And that is a very good pause game right there. So give me a second. I need to take a picture of my bestie because that is a great pause.
Anywhere. For a personal trip, I'm going to do some work while I'm there because in my belief, twin mom, God bless you. I got your gift. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you here. Miss Lee, mom of 3. I haven't had a chance to say good morning to you in quite some time because I know what comes out of my mouth and I don't recall saying your name. So I'm pretty sure you're.
Oh, and just on a side note, I wrote a comment. Mind you, I am a member of her channel. Not by choice, but I am a member. I commented on her video this morning later on, and I said, how come I don't see you at your very important meeting? And it was deleted. Like, how rude. How rude.
Your husband grounded you from watching Bullhorn Betty. No, I'm just joking. He's saying there's not enough chores being done around the house. I'm just joking. Don't beat up Bullhorn Betty. So it's nice. Thank you guys. You guys have been so wonderful. And this has been, and I was talking to Miss Robin yesterday by text, and I told her, we don't really run trials on here. We cover cases, and even the cases we cover get emotional. I almost got sidetracked. I got the phones open, but I don't really have them open yet. Let me just get this up here so I can get this on. Sorry, guys. Give me just 2 shakes.
No, we don't want to give you 2 shakes. Please stop saying that. It drives me bonkers.
Okay. So the call-in number is 724 724-249-6140. Again, that's 724-249-6140. Laugh till you pee. That's cute. Princess Megan L, it's nice to see you. But just to let you know, like we watch a lot of, we go cover cases, and like even Quentin Simon, that was a real sad case, and I got choked up covering that case. There's been multiple times while I was outside of Leilani's home, I was crying. This is Betty.
Okay, what did I win? I'm the first caller.
Well, hello there, my friend Ricky Beavers. We haven't heard from you in a while, and I was asking about you, and I actually even made an extra call. I actually called Dolly, and I'm like, Dolly, I haven't heard from Ricky Beavers in a while. Have you heard from him? I mean, has he been in your chat? I'm just curious. I said I like to keep it.
Oh, you called Dolly like you had chats on Twitter with Sleuthy Goosey, which I was fangirling yesterday because Sleuthy Goosey was in my chat. And so many of us were letting Sleuthy Goosey know that girlfriend here was saying that they were having a Twitter conversation. And Sleuthy Goosey had no recollection unless Betty had changed her name. So isn't that interesting? So I don't believe her one single bit.
In contact with my flock, and I said, I don't know if something's going on.
Well, Betty, I got a lot going on, sweetheart. We're just striving to get this music up and running, and we're doing.
So Mona Lisa, she did go to that meeting. I'm going to show you that momentarily. However, it wasn't as important as she made it out to be. She made it out to be that she was invited to the meeting, that the commissioners wanted her there. But once you hear what she talked about, I'm hoping that I wasn't the only one that had no idea what was happening, because she made no sense.
Great. I'm impressed, and I'm overwhelmed how good it is doing, and I want to praise the Lord for that.
There's the vape.
I want you to know that, a lot of times I don't, I listen to you a lot. I don't say nothing, but these things going, people killing kids or killing people in general, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I can't handle a lot of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all I know to do is pray, and I just know prayer's the key to success.
And she could care less. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he loves Betty for some reason. Why, I don't know, because she has no interest at all in what he's saying. And what drives me insane is that whenever someone calls in, she has to vape. Again, Betty, that's not very professional. You say you're a professional, that you are media. How many reporters could vape while they're doing a phone interview with someone? How many? I would say 0.
Listen, I know every time I call in, I always talk about God, because God's all we need to talk about.
Yeah.
He's the man with the plan. But, as I said, I do listen to you. And, but, hearing these things going on, how, these what people, the kids, all these massive shootings going on. I can't believe how many shootings went on this year.
There's been a lot of stuff going on in Texas, and, it's really
I know that. That's just unreal.
Yeah.
But I want you to know, I do pray for you, think of you all the time. And I do stay in constant meditating and praying that God keeps his covenant over you, because I do believe in God putting hedges around people, and I do believe in guardian angels. And I believe so, because you are sometimes you put yourself in a dangerous situation. I know you do, but I appreciate your gumption about trying to make a difference. Of course, we all got haters out there, but I want you to keep doing what you're doing, because I'll stand beside you in what you are doing.
Yeah. It's definitely a calling. It's definitely a purpose. I think once this stuff bites you, and you can see whether people say you make a difference, not.
You mean once the money bites you? And I believe she talks about how she got into this, and when her and JLR started to monetize their channel, because again, she saw the money rolling in, and that's when she got her calling.
It doesn't matter about other people. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I mean, it matters about what you think you are doing, and if you think you are doing the right by other people, and that's really at the end of the day all that matters.
Right, and I just want you to know that I do pray that God, I am praying, meditating, like I said, God keeps coming over you and others out there that's letting us know what's going on. And I'll be honest, I'm glad to know. As I said, I just can't handle a lot of the stuff when I hear things that's brutal, things going on that shouldn't be happening. I have no problem with people coming to our country, but I do have a problem with a lot of these evil people in our country.
Well, it's like anything else. It's like anything else. You know what? You move into a.
And this is where she started making me even more angry, because here comes her judgmental, racist thoughts regarding immigrants. And True Crime Dime, I saw your comment about Texas. She brings Texas into this conversation, and I wouldn't be surprised if she goes there and starts her BS.
Community that has an HOA, you've got to go through a background check. You go to an apartment, you got to go through a background check. You get a job, you got to go through a background check. But for whatever reason, this is the first time in our history that we are just basically opening our borders and letting anybody and everybody cross and put us in jeopardy without doing the necessary.
So this is where I was thinking in my mind, if only the so-called borders were closed when your family immigrated to the United States, what a better country it would be. Because I'm guessing your family history will show that they did not start in the United States of America. They came from other countries. So to stereotype and put all of those who are trying to come to our country for a better life is really ignorant and rude. Because here's the thing. A lot of those immigrants who are in our country do the jobs that the rest of us wouldn't want to do, or many of us won't do. So to judge them because of where they come from is just so ugly. And like, have you ever talked to someone to see their story about their truth? Probably not, because you're a racist.
Background check, which is required by us for any job, any checking account, anything that we do.
Right. It's devastating. It really, really is. And I'm concerned. I am. I don't want to say worried, because I do know that we have a God that's going to look after His people, which we're all His people, but a lot of called and few are chosen. And I want the best for everybody. I really do. That strives for the best. And even they don't, we need to intercede for other people. But man, it's just, you're right. I don't know what's going to take place next, but I know the good outweighs the bad either way it goes.
Yeah.
And Betty, I do want to say this, and I know you understand this, and I'm changing the subject a little bit, curveball here. I do believe in my heart that Summer Wells is alive somewhere. I've been praying and meditating on that a lot, and I in my spirit, I have got signs telling me that she is, and that where, I don't know. And I'll be honest with you, I've been talking to Kansas some on the phone, and I got my inputs on that part too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you talk to Kansas and you sit and talk with her a little bit, then you'll know, and I'm sure you have, right?
I've talked to Dawn. Candace has never, outside of her conversations while I've been on the phone with Dawn, I've never personally talked to Candace.
Well, now,
except with the exception of being in front of her job, which wasn't really a conversation.
Right. You'll see what I see when you ever do get to talk to her. I was planning on trying to go down to there when they had the visual this year. I prayed about it and everything. I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not. I'm thinking about it, but you know what I'm saying.
So I don't know if she would go to the border to protest or not, because she seems like she is afraid to go anywhere where there are not white people with blonde hair and blue eyes, such as herself. I don't think she would go to border towns because of the population that lives there. She probably would complain about the borders, but I don't see her actually going to the border to protest.
I don't know. I just wish we had a closure on that. I really do.
I do too. Yeah.
And all these other stuff too, and Betty, but I do love you so much, and I like that pink in your hair, by the way.
Yeah, I like it light. I like it the way it is now, but it's coming out quick, so I'll be blonde. I'll be blonde here probably by the time I return from my trip.
And a lot of people tell me how beautiful you are because I ask you what you look like.
Aw, thank you.
And they tell me how beautiful you are, which I already know you're beautiful inside and out. I love you for you.
Oh, Ricky, if you only knew.
Thank you for everything that you do, and I just can't express that enough. And I just want you to know that, and you just keep doing what you're doing, and God will see you through. Okay.
Yep. And Ricky, I got a request from you. So Mama Bullhorn, she is probably, as we speak right now, under the knife for knee surgery. Would you mind before you leave saying a prayer for Mama Bullhorn?
Oh, I'd be glad to. Yes, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I bring Betty's mother up to you right now, Father God. Lord, thank you for being such a merciful God. Thank you, Lord, for loving us for who we are. You know the numbers on our head, Father God. You know all about it. And Lord, just thank you so much for hearing this prayer. And Lord, I know when I pray to you, I get results. And I love that. I love being a prayer warrior. I love being an interceder. I love being what you have me to be. And Lord, I just ask you to put your hands on these doctors, Father God, because I know that surgery is a rough surgery. And I pray that you'll bless her, anoint her, and fill her with your spirit, Lord. And Father God, that you'll take care of that pain, because that's going to be a crucial pain. I do know other people that's done that. But I pray that you be with her and put your hands on her, Father God, and just move on her in a mighty special way, and let her feel loved too, and let her know that she has a beautiful child that she brought into this world. And I just thank you so much for that. And I'm believing without a shadow of a doubt that you put to her in the doctors that are Christians, Lord, that lean and trust in you. And I just thank you so much for this prayer. Let it be done in the name of Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, Betty. We'll be talking soon. And I'll be doing a song on your sometime when you do another live. We'll plan on that. I apologize. I was just kind of under the weather.
That's okay, Ricky. That's okay. But yeah,
we'll do it. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to do it when I return from this trip that I'm leaving on early in the morning.
Okay, cool. And Betty, I love you so much, honey. I know I don't know you, but I feel like I do know you. Okay.
We know each other. We just haven't met yet.
Okay. And we got that connection. I love it, and I wouldn't change it for nothing. Okay.
Thank you, Ricky. God bless you.
And God bless everybody out in the chat. Okay. Remember, God loves you, and you are special. He does not create junk. See y'all later.
All right. God bless.
Bye.
Our president, Ricky Beavers. Oh, I got to turn the phones back on. I had to turn the phones off because we were just about to give prayer, and I didn't want to have like beep beep while we're doing prayer. So I turned the phones off, but I just turned them back on for those that would like to call in. 724-249-6140. We've got about 30 more minutes before I get out of here this morning. Again, this really wasn't anything to really discuss a whole lot. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on in the Brian Kohberger case. I believe that there's some stuff that's going to be breaking this next week. I don't know this week or next week, but it seems like there's going to be some stuff coming out that I'm just kind of hearing about. I don't know what it's about or where it's coming from, but I am hearing that there's going to be some.
So you're hearing things, but you don't know where they're coming from. So are you just hearing voices? Is that what you're saying? You don't know where they're coming from or where you would go to get them?
Big news coming out next week or maybe even this week. I'm unsure. So I'm just watching every social media platform right now, just seeing if anything is breaking, if we've gotten any new information. There's a lot of stuff, going on in this country. And we just got done with Gannon Stout, the West, Judy Ron gave, many of you know, we were.
Oh, here she goes. So now she is, I don't know what down this is. Maybe it's like the 8th down. She's doubled down so many times. She's still claiming she didn't know she wasn't supposed to live stream the audio for the West trial.
We're going to run the West case, and we were going to do it all above board. I know people were complaining because we kind of signed into hearing. We misunderstood the order of the court. I read all the orders of the court, but the one pertaining to the case was not accessible to the public.
Negative, Betty. The order was accessible to all of us. We all saw it. We all read it. I was in your chat when hundreds of people were telling you that it was not allowed, and they would send you the order, and you would say, this is the same one I've read, and it doesn't say anything about that. Yet 5 days prior, you were complaining that it wasn't going to be able to be publicized. So again, you are a big fat liar.
doesn't make sense. So the ones I did read, I read thoroughly, and it appeared that everything was kosher. But regardless, it was we realized, we talked to the courts, and we realized what we were and were not allowed to do. So basically, we weren't allowed to live stream or broadcast the actual stream coming from the court. But what I was going to do in the alternative, but then again, Letitia Stout's case went forward, and we may go ahead and do this, this week, depending on where we are. We might be getting close to deliberations. Actually, I think we still haven't gone to the defense yet. I still.
Because I think you've even attempted to watch or follow up on anything with the West trial. I don't think you know at all.
Think that it's still a state's case in the West case. I'm not sure. I've got to get up to speed in it. I completely checked out from that case because of the Letitia Stout and how much time the Letitia Stout case took.
But you say you do work on the weekends and you ghost stream. So what are you doing when you told us you're researching and do things when you're waiting for the trial to come back, when you're ghost streaming? So you can't just Google West trial update. That's what I do when I get home and I have certain things that I want to present on the cases I'm following. I go to Google and just put in, for example, I'm going to be doing a live later, probably maybe tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Friday, probably Friday, actually, let's say Friday, because there have been updates coming in on the cases that I follow, specifically the limousine case that I've been covering with the limousine company who is being charged, where 20 people were killed in that crash. And today the headline was a second juror who was chosen has been excused. So I have to read up and see why. But again, simple Google search would give you what you need to know, Betty.
It just made it next to impossible to look at anything else. But I was reviewing the West case and actually sent some updates out to some other creators in case they weren't paying attention to what was going on, like I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. And apparently the kids testified against the West parents. And so the two younger siblings kind of from my understanding, they were the younger siblings, and they kind of contradicted themselves on some certain facts. But it was their 12-year-old son that spoke yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Okay, so you just told us that you haven't kept up with the case, so you don't really know what's happening. Yet now you're telling us what's happened?
What was today? Today's Tuesday, so it could have been the day before yesterday. So it had to have been yesterday, but it could have been Friday because, again, I'm not paying attention to dates or times or anything like that. But their 12-year-old son took the stand. And what I heard from Judy Ron and other attorneys and other legal professionals that I rely heavily on for their opinions.
You mean the actual facts and legal knowledge that they have?
Paul said basically that this is Betty.
Good morning, Betty.
Good morning. Who are you? Where are you calling from? You look like you're calling from Florida, but
I am Connie, and I'm calling from California.
Oh, Connie Branch. Oh my goodness, you made it to California. It's nice to hear from you.
Yeah, it's only 4:45 in the morning here.
Well, God bless you. You're up for the Bullhorn Betty channel.
The time change is hurting me right now.
Hey, trust me. Now you know how I felt when I went to Idaho. That time killed me.
Yeah, that drive about killed me.
Oh, that's right. You did drive all the way across the country. Oh my goodness. Well, we're glad you made it well. So tell me, for every cross country trip, there's always interesting times. What was the interesting time for you in a major trip across country?
In Texas, my boys wouldn't let me get out the car. They didn't care if I had to pee or not.
That's funny. Well, you know what? Texas is becoming dangerous. I don't know what's going on with Texas other than
yeah. My oldest boy, Brian, he drove the U-Haul towing my husband's pickup. And then my other son, Ross, and I drove in my car.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd just gotten my new car right before, my husband passed. So, yeah. So, I just wanted to let you hear my voice and let you know I made it.
Oh, well, I'm so happy that you called in and let us know that you were doing well.
Yes, I'm doing well. The grandkids are crazy. Of course, they're all boys. What do you expect? I'm in the middle of 7 boys.
Yep.
It reminds me of old times.
Oh, that's
because,
true.
I have 5 boys and 3 girls.
Oh boy, you had a full house.
Yeah, I did at one time. I sure did. I only have 3 living children now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And we got some news because we lost 2 children by cancer, and most of my husband's family died by cancer. I did get a call that they ran some tests on him, and 2% of the world carried the hereditary gene of cancer. And would you not?
Oh, so this is the last part I wanted us to listen to, which is her live is almost done. But this is where this woman starts talking about someone in her family has cancer. So Betty gives her insight as to how she could genetically determine whether or not they will inherit the cancer gene.
I believe that my husband's family carry it.
Yeah, that stinks. That stinks.
Yeah,
Jennifer, good morning, Jennifer. Sorry, Connie, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
So again, this lady took time out of her day to call Betty, and while this lady speaking, Betty says hi to someone in the chat. And then she says, "Oh, sorry." And the lady said, "Oh, no, it's okay." "No, lady, it's not okay, Connie. It's not okay. Because you took time out of your day to call this heifer. You should have her undivided attention. She should not be looking at chat. She should not be vaping. She should not be looking, at paint dry. She should be attentive to you because you called her."
My kids are all having a colonoscopy. My daughter, she's 25. She's having a colonoscopy, I believe Thursday. And both the boys are going in next week.
You know what? With your history, you might want to consider your children. They have that Ancestry DNA medical where they do this testing to tell you your genetics.
Okay, so I myself have done Ancestry DNA. I have done 23andMe. Ancestry will give you insight as to some medical conditions based on your DNA. However, it will not tell you whether or not you have a certain gene or not. So Betty is telling this woman that instead of going to a doctor, she could order an Ancestry DNA kit to tell her what may happen medically based on genetics.
Right. After they have the colonoscopy, they said we were talking about that.
Yeah, because that actually, it's a reasonably priced test that gives you a lot of good information.
I'm not worried about the price. I'll handle it.
Right. Yeah, of course. But still, I just, if you think about it, you go to the doctor, you spend $100-something just to check your blood for sugar. You can get a whole medical profile on yourself for the same price.
Right.
No, you cannot. And this is where what she's saying is completely irresponsible, because I had a cousin who died unexpectedly in her early 20s. And turns out that she had a blood clot that traveled to her lungs. So myself and many other members of our family went to a doctor to have our blood tested for that marker. I did not say, "Oh, let me buy an Ancestry DNA kit because it's cheaper than going to a doctor." No. So this is what made me really mad, because she has no freaking idea what she's talking about. And she's telling this woman, and probably people in her chat are saying, "Oh, that's what I can do?" So dumb. Like, ugh. It made me so mad when I heard her say this, because she has no freaking clue. None.
And we're having the boys do the genetic ancestry. All the grand boys, because they're too young to call. I mean, one of them's only 2. Come on now.
Right.
We ain't gonna violate him yet.
Oh, I get it.
That was that was a joke. You know, my husband made this joke when he had to have his colonoscopy. He was like, "Oh, I can't believe I made it 73 years without being violated."
Yeah, well, we have to look at the colonoscopies because, look at the situation where we have Miss Ann. We love Miss Ann. And now she's dealing with all of that. And it's probably from lack of maybe colonoscopies. And she has all removed and everything. It's not good for her.
Betty, that's exactly what happened in my husband's case. 73 years old before he had his first colonoscopy.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do better medically for ourselves.
He would never go. He would never go. And they said his tumor had been growing for years.
Yeah. Well, guys are funny like that, because.
Oh, yeah. Like my husband said, you ain't doing that. This isn't Audi, not an Indian. You ain't doing nothing like that.
Right. But, we got to go get our boobs smashed between glass. So, you guys got to get a rod stuck up your rear. But don't worry, guys.
Oh, my God, Betty. Like, oh, my God. I can't with her. Like, why do you have to be so, like, dumb about your descriptions? Like, why not just say, we all have to have colonoscopies at some point in our life, or women always, we want to get mammograms every so often, every year or every 2 years. Like, why do you have to describe it in such vulgar terms? Like, I don't even know. And she thinks it's funny. He. No, it's not freaking funny. It's not. This woman is talking about someone being very sick in her family, and you're making vulgar jokes. Oh, dang it. Oh, see, I was so mad that, that I clicked the wrong button. Hold on, y'all. My bad.
The world, rights, you think about it. If there's no issues going on, why would a mother write her son?
Okay, let me just back up.
All right.
Here we go.
It's crazy here in California.
Trust me, I got friends from California.
I do not like the interstate.
California in the 90s and came to Florida.
I'm telling you what, they have this interstate that has no speed limit.
Yeah.
And they had the nerve to take me on that.
Good. That's my kind of road.
Nope. I let my son drive and I was under the dash.
Just put a blindfold on, pull the, put the lever back and lay there and just go to sleep.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you guys have got to be kidding, which I've been out here visiting before,
right.
But I get such anxiety driving. So I didn't drive a whole lot, thank goodness for my boys. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness they still love their mama.
Right.
But anyway, don't want to hold you up all day. But I made it.
I'm so happy to hear from you, Connie. It's great. So I'm glad you made it. Thanks for calling and letting us know.
Of course, Betty, and I will talk to you soon, I'm sure.
You got it. God bless.
All right. Love the mods and love everybody in chat.
Love you too.
And love you too, Betty. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, good morning. I see Turkey Man is in the house. Good morning, Turkey Man. Jason, so Gabby's family filed a new motions. That is absolutely right. And I got to tell you, this burn after reading letter that Roberta's trying to say has was written long before they ever went. Like, who would write their son talking about burying a body, or when they're about to go on a cross country travel, or building or baking a shiv inside of a cake? Like, who in the world writes? Like, you think about it. If there's no issues going on, why would a mother write her son a letter like that? Like, I know my mom would do just about anything for me, right? Yeah, I know that. I know that if I'm hurt.
Oh, so she'll do anything for you, but you don't do anything for her? Oh, that seems like a great relationship.
My mom will be there. And my mom has never, and you guys know, back in my younger years, I was troubled. I was dealing with an awful lot. I was dealing with abusive men. I was dealing with, drug issues. I was dealing with emotion. I was dealing with a mess of stuff. I did not have an awesome relationship with my mom or my father for, my teenage years up to at least my mid-20s. It was a constant battle. We did not have the best communication skills. A little messy. Good morning, Street Justice. Good morning, Steffers. Nice to see you. Brenda from Ontario. It's good to see you. Jennifer, I see you came in. Sandra, it's good to see you. Michelle, Colleen, Lady O, Jennifer K, J9, it's nice to see you. I saw a few other people come in here. Swamp Angel, Turkey Man, think that's about it. Hopefully, Jets Mama, nice to see you. Hopefully I got everybody else that came in. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Good morning. It's nice to see you all here this morning. Crime Alive with Sabrina, Jessa Love, and Mama Shell Bell. It's great to see you here. So just to let you know that, yes, there are new motions filed in this case. They're trying to get that letter sent to them. They knew of the letter because of the FBI investigation. The FBI brought awareness to this letter. So this idea that this letter, this burn after reading letter, does not exist, it absolutely does exist. And Roberta Laundrie is trying to state that it was done years before or months before they even left, that this has nothing to do with Gabby's death, untimely murder, whatever the Laundrie family is trying to say. But again, it doesn't make sense. Hi, Tippy Toe. It just doesn't make sense, because think about it. Why would a mother...
True Crime Dime, I noticed she does that a lot, and she actually has done it at least twice during this live, because normally she only does it at the beginning, but lately she's been doing it like when she doesn't know what to say, or she kind of forgets what she's going to say, she'll start saying hi to people.
Or write that type of letter talking about burying a body if there's no body to bury. What mother talks like that to her son? And talks about baking a shiv in a cake? You know what's funny? This is what's funny. This is what I love about people.
Okay, let's hear it.
When we were out there in front of Brian Laundrie's house, Brian Laundrie was gone. By the time we showed up, Brian Laundrie was most likely already dead in Myakkahatchee Environmental Park.
Oh, so this is where I need the chat again, because again, I did not follow her until the Idaho case. And I'm going to assume she's lying about everything that they did. However, you know better than me, so I'm going to count on you to let me know whether or not what she's saying is accurate.
In reality, according, now that hindsight's 2020, we know that he was most likely dead shortly after he ran away, shortly after he parked that Mustang there and went off in the woods and was never seen again. It came out that he died most likely very shortly after that incident, and they spent weeks and months looking for him. But we didn't show up until after that, because his car actually wound up at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park on the 15th, on September 15th. I was there. Jonathan was there in front of that house on September 17th, and I know that because he was out there with my friend Heather, and they had their bullhorns out in front of the house on September 17th. The reason why I know this so well, so specific, is because September 17th is my birthday. So I knew exactly where I was. I knew exactly where they were. And I knew, because I was out on my birthday. I went out with a friend, and I was in Fort Myers for my birthday. And I didn't come and get out in front of that house until September 17th. So there was only one day that Jonathan was out in front of that house that I was not there, and that was September 17th. I was there from September 18th until they found Brian Laundrie's body out in Myakkahatchee Creek. And then we were there weeks and months even after they found him, taking measurements, walking the path, taking video, and putting together some really creative timelines and content for Olivia's audience. Because at that time, Jonathan and I were not on any type of social media other than Facebook, and definitely not a monetized account by any stretch of the imagination.
So I'm assuming because of this comment, this is where she realized she could make bank, and where she became a true tragedy pimp. And now she's just a grifter who pretends to cover tragedies in order to get money.
We didn't know that. The only persons that were monetized at that time was MGL and Chronicles of Olivia. We knew nothing about any of that. That came after Gabby Petito. But long story short is, the parents knew that that their child killed Gabby. There's no reason to send a letter about burying bodies and putting shiv. Who would have thought their son would wind up in prison to have to bake a cake with a shiv in it, unless something had happened? So this idea that this letter came, before, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But we found out how dirty the Laundries were being out in front of that house. We knew what kind of person. But getting back, going full circle, everybody identified Roberta Laundrie. That the problem came with Roberta Laundrie, not Christopher Laundrie, not his father, but the audience, before we even knew of this letter, was pointing the finger at the mother. And I thought that was the oddest thing when I was out there, until I learned until I learned. And all of this is all Roberta. All of her family problems is hers. Christopher Laundrie is just, I guess, the money and the sack. I don't know. But it's definitely his wife is the problem. Sounds like Brian discussed his plans to end Gabby on a short trip back home with his parents, and Mama put a letter in his bag. Possibly. Maybe it was more planned than we thought. Maybe it was more planned than we thought. Maybe this was the family plan. Why would the whole family be involved in it? I have no idea. Me personally, what I think happened is I think he killed Gabby. He called his mom, and his mom gave him that letter. I think that letter did not get to Brian until he returned home. I don't think it was mailed to him on the road. I don't think he acquired that letter until he came home. I think that was the letter. Remember that when he came home and they all went right over to Cassie Laundrie's house, the sisters. I think that that's when his mom had that letter for him. When he returned home, she probably had that on his bed or on his desk for him to read privately and told him to burn it after reading. And I don't think it was that planned. I don't think they planned on her going out. I missed a whole strip of hair.
Oops.
From my leg. I shaved my legs this morning, and I surely missed a strip right there. All right, guys. Well, listen, I just want to tell you all good morning. I am not going to be on here. We've already been on here almost an hour. I'm going to go ahead and I know that there's some people coming in right now. I'm sorry, but I've got meetings to go to this morning, and I've got to get out of here tomorrow.
She has meetings to go to. Yeah, we're going to get to your meeting, Betty.
We're not going to be live in the morning. Just FYI. Excuse me. We will not have a live. I'll be up at like 3 o'clock. I'll be at the airport at 3 a.m. in the morning. So there's going to be no live. I'm not even going to be landing where I'm going until, in the afternoon. So we're done for the whole day. And then when I get to where I'm going, I've got to get straight to work. So because
she's got to get straight to work. But Betty, you said that so you're going to your personal event, but the case you're looking at isn't in the same state. So what kind of work do you have to get right to?
The state that I'm working in is different than the state of my personal event. So I'm working in one state and I have a personal event in another state. So anyways, all right, guys, I love you. Have a great, amazing day. And if I have time later tonight before I call it a night, I will come in here and just say hi and bye to you guys, kind of like we did this morning. I'll do that later tonight so we can all just say hi and bye before Maddie down. It's nice to see you, Sharon. It's good to see you. And Sunday is, thank you, Turkey Man, for reminding us. Sunday is Mother's Day. Many of you know my mom is going to be housebound. I'm not going to be able to really do anything for her for Mother's Day because she's having knee surgery today. So we have like 267 beautiful.
So let me get this straight. Your mom is having knee surgery today, and because she's going to be housebound, you can't do anything for her. You could bring her flowers. You could bring her food. You could bring her chocolate. You could make her dinner. Well, maybe scratch that. You could... you could do lots of things. You could go visit her and maybe help her with some house stuff. But no, you're going out of state. And okay, so I forgot to say this earlier when her mom was talking about knee surgery. Normally, in my experience, you schedule your surgery in advance, meaning Betty knew or would have known that her mom was having surgery and not to go out of town on the day or say, a couple days after. So she, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, she was finding a way to get out of helping her mom. So she booked this trip, leaving the day after. Well, first she said she was leaving today, and then it changed. She's leaving tomorrow. So that just seems a little sus to me.
People in our chat right now, if you guys could say a prayer for each person struggling in our chat and say a prayer for Mama Bullhorn for a speedy recovery on her knee surgery, I would greatly appreciate that. And guys, I love each and every one of you. Make it a great day. And I can't wait to see you. And I probably won't see you until Thursday. So hopefully today I'll come back on for a little bit and just say hi and bye to you before I get on my chat. But if you don't hear from me Wednesday night, we'll definitely go live Thursday morning. And you guys will see my beautiful face, and I get to see you all chirpy people in my chat. So I love each and every one of you. Go make it a great day. Don't forget to be fearless, folks. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, be safe and kind to one another. God bless you.
So she's so kind in that. So now we'll get to see her meeting. And, oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right, let me stop sharing this for a minute. I think it's because they probably, so the way that her meetings work, the county commissioners, they go live for a long time. Like, it's not just like an hour meeting, like it was an all day event. So they would have all types of people come in and, you know, say their concerns, talk about, you know, different initiatives that they want to have in the community. And this, oh shoot, I didn't want to do Bullhorn Betty. All right, Manatee County, that's what I want. Oops, that's the wrong one. No, stop. So she went to her meeting today and had it all ready, but they must have ended the live. So now I need to find the actual live, and this is going to drive me nuts. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Dang it. All right, so I need to find this. Actually, Bash, can I use your video that you did earlier of her meeting? And please, if you haven't, please sub up to Bash the Tragedy Pimps. She has been so helpful to me, and we do our collaborations we've been doing Saturdays. Okay, here she is. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to get this up. And all right, I'm going to share this. So present, share screen. Okay, so again, this is Bash the Tragedy Pimp, so be sure to sub up to her. She was on Betty today. So this is Betty's very important meetings that she had to go to today. And I believe I checked, let's see, my free period is like 10:30. So I checked around 10:30, 11 to see if she had talked at her meeting yet, and she hadn't. And I don't believe she actually spoke until afternoon. So this is her very important meeting that she had to go to.
Last name, county of residence, 3 minutes on a future agenda item.
Andrew Griffin, Manatee County activist. There's a few things that
And so, mind you, she's wearing the same thing that she wore on her live. And I believe the shirt says, I have selective hearing. Sorry, not sorry. So again, a very important meeting. And those that came before her were dressed very professionally, like they had dresses on or, you know, business attire, not really formal, but semi-formal attire. You'll see when she walks away. Actually, you know what? Let's slow this down a little bit so we can, because she talks so fast at this meeting and then she like books it away. So we'll slow it down just a tiny bit.
do want to go over here, and then I'm going to have to address this first for time issues.
In 2022, Sherry Sieberman of Empath Law conducted an investigation into the transit, and she conducted no recorded interviews, but instead provided her own typed statement without any accuracy to the conversation. And now today, this morning, 9 a.m., she's now conducting more interviews in transit, and she has never recorded those conversations. So I think it needs to be important that anytime we have an internal investigation, no matter what department it is, that those are recorded either by video or audio, because there is interviews going on right now in our transit, but I don't know if you guys are aware of. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. And, you know, the issues with HR are really getting under my skin. We're up here, we've got our Sheriff Rick Wells, which is near and dear to me. And I also live in the 2nd District. So this is a district that impacts me personally. And when you hear those gunfires at night in your bedroom, you want somebody out there helping you. When you hear about a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and 6-year-old down the road, a half a mile dead, you want something there to help you.
So this is where, well, she lost me a while ago, but so now my ears kind of perk up because I'm like, oh, she's talking about children, and she's talking about children who show up dead, you know, a mile, mile down the road. I don't know what this has to do with transit, because she was talking about transit in this woman, and now she's talking about kids who are losing their lives. So I don't know what. Oh, she sounds really nervous, and which is interesting because she goes to this meeting all the time, and they let her speak, and then they just say thank you and they move it along.
Now, I am a privacy person. I am a conservative, and I am a First Amendment person. I'm not even allowed to call into my Manatee County government.
So, okay, so now this one I understand, because apparently when COVID was, you know, at its height, they allowed call-ins, citizens to call in and express their concerns. Now that we're over that, they've now started having in-person meetings again, and Betty is not happy about that because she is always on location, or, you know, she's not always in town because she has important business outside the state, blah, blah, blah. So now she's gone from transit to children losing their lives to phone calls. Again, I don't know what the relation is between these, but if anybody else is able to put that together, please let me know.
If I'm not here, I can't even conduct government, which each and every one of you guys sat up here and said we want participation from our community. We want people to stand up and speak and have the right to speak and be part of our government. Yet I am hindered in doing so, but a criminal can shoot kids down a half a mile away from my house and nobody is there to help. So these systems, and I just told Rick, if you want to bolt one on my top of my roof, go right ahead. But this, I do.
Oh, the roof that is broken? Oh, so you're offering a roof that you claim you don't have. Okay, that makes sense.
News, I do media, I go around this country. And the one thing that I am also about is privacy and what I'm allowed to do and where I'm allowed to do it. And you know where I conduct my business? On public easements, public property. When I go out there and
oh, and this part is so funny because something makes a debut in her speech.
And when I'm out here advocating for the stuff here in Manatee County, where am I? I'm on sidewalks, in the roads, with my bullhorn or without. Doesn't matter. But that is my right. I am second district. This is not something that I think that you should be taking away or deciding on the merits of that. You should be listening to the community, which you guys used to do. The community, your bosses. And we need help. And I will be supporting Rick in this movement. And I hope you guys do too. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you can. Oh, I forgot that was at the end. So Betty imploded, as we know. So that was what I had for today. Just kind of going through Betty's important meetings and how she is a big liar. She is a bish filled with ish, as my students would say. And if you don't know what bish and ish mean, I would have you go to Urban Dictionary and look it up. Yes, you did blow her up, which she is probably going to self implode at any point. Because so I don't know what the point of her 3-minute speech was, because she had a ton of different things that she was talking about that didn't seem related to me. I believe it has to do with obviously the phones and how some people are able to call, but other people who actually need help aren't. But to compare the deaths of children because of violence to not being able to call in with dumb complaints is, you can't even compare that. I think, like someone said in chat, like apples to oranges. Like you can't compare those two things at all, because one is extremely serious and the other one is if we get to it, we get to it. It's not really that serious. So yeah, she jumps around and just doesn't, and what she wore, like you couldn't see it there, but because she blew up, but at the end she walks away and she has like really short shorts on and that t-shirt that says selective hearing, which is just, I mean, what a joke, right? Yeah. Oh, Cheesy Weezy, I hope he's on the mend. I think I knew that. I think I saw your post. So I hope he's on the road to recovery, because that's got to be really scary. Oh, so the phone call was 10 minutes. Got it. So she wants to be able to ramble on for 10 minutes as opposed to 3 minutes. Yeah, and I mean, I can't imagine, like, I don't know how big Manatee County is. I'm assuming obviously it's bigger than my county, but to have a commissioner meeting that lasts nearly all day, and I think they meet once or twice a week, I can't remember, but they all are live. So when Betty said she had an important meeting with the county commissioners, well, all of their meetings are broadcast live. So we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally she appeared. Yeah, wearing that. Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to watch again. I will put the link to the commissioner meeting with the timestamp, so that if you want to go watch it again, like the whole thing of her, you can. But I don't remember seeing the part where she had to pick her shorts out of her butt. But yeah, they were short shorts too. Like it wasn't, yeah, she wasn't professional. Oh, okay, fairly large. Okay. I would think with that number of commissioners and having a meeting that lasted hours, I assumed that it was a fairly big county. Oh, they just want to figure out a plan. That makes sense. Right, because you don't want it to be people calling in like her, complaining about things that are irrelevant and not productive. Oh, beach area tourist town. Okay. Yeah, my parents had a house in Fort Myers, So I haven't really been north. Like, I haven't been to Tampa or Naples. So when I went to visit, I would go to like Sanibel and Captiva, Fort Myers Beach. Oh, 412,000 residents. Okay, that is a very big county. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, what did Sinner say? Betty is a broad on the prowl. Scary stuff. Oh boy. It's not a wealthy county. She needs to move and pay more taxes. Right. She was like, they were talking about getting people toilets at the one meeting, like people who don't have working toilets. And she got up there and was like, I don't care about toilets. I care about my roof. When's my roof going to be fixed? Never, because it's not broken. Yes. All right. So we've been live just over, well, actually, what time did I start? 5:10. Oh yeah, so just over 2 hours. So tomorrow I will be live, probably later, probably around 5:10 again, because I get kittens tomorrow. So I will definitely post pictures tonight of them if you want to see them. And I haven't had kittens in a while, so this should be some fun times. But they are so freaking cute. There's one who's orange and he's like really fuzzy. He's like not really long haired, but like medium haired, and he is just gorgeous. And then there's a black and white one, like a tuxedo. And then the other one is a little more black with tiger. Super cute. And then I'll also get Mama. Mama is a calico who is very sweet. So I will have them for about 2 weeks until we can get them adopted. And then I'll be ready for some more and hopefully some babies, because that would be fun to have videos of them from like when they're born until they say sayonara. So with that, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you all came and made me laugh. And oh, one of the kitties in the mail. Well, I don't know if I'll try, but yes, kittens are great until they're, well, I mean, they're all great, but probably I would say around 7 weeks is where they become, I call them tiny terrorists, because they try to climb your leg and it hurts horribly because their nails are like pins and they just want to climb and they're like crazy. They're racing around like lunatics. But they're super fun and they make me laugh. So yes. Yes, for sure. And so until then, I need to stop looking at chat because I'm getting distracted. So again, I do read all of the chat after it's posted on Facebook. That's kind of how I go to sleep. I read all the chat messages, and don't forget, you can always email me headstones and headlines at gmail.com. And I'm working on an Amazon wish list because now I'm going to have kittens. So I just might do an Amazon wish list for kittens instead of myself, like my bestie Betty. So with that, I hope you all have a great night. Happy Tuesday. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.